praises to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, shalom to the elect, all right? Definitely, we on the West Coast, you know, in the area of the spirit of revolution, man, you know, and that's what, you know, we're living in the times of revolution, in the times of change, all right? And whereas one kingdom is going to be taken down, and another kingdom is going to be built up, but first it's going to have to be war. All right, the war of Armageddon. All right, because the word Armageddon is Harmageddon in the Hebrew, which means the mountain of troops. All right, the different mountains, which means different governments, and their governments and their armies are going to be fighting each other. And that's not just talking about, you know, the Arabs. You got the Arab nations. You got Esau. You got Ishmael. You got Esau. You even have mountains of Israel. The scriptures talk about that, you know. The scriptures talk about that. It's in Ezekiel the 6th chapter. Ezekiel was told. He said what? Yahweh told him what? To prophesy against the mountains of Israel. Who's the mountains? The leaders, the heads of Israel. I'm not sure if T.D. Jakes was put to death or not. You know, I'm not sure, but he would represent a part of that mountain of Israel. All right, the wicked mountain of Israel. All right. So, moving along, we're here in the Roman Empire. We're in Rome all over again, the same way that Rome went down. All right, it's the same way America's going to go down, through insurrection. All right, through revolt. All right. So you're going to have wicked Jakes. You're going to have Jakes fighting up against each other, just like in the ancient Roman Empire, man. Those wicked mountains. Okay, but the mountain of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai is the one that's going to be declared, because at the end they all going to fight against Yahweh Shai, man. Right? You got something out?
Yeah, let's bring this precept out. This Isaiah 13 and 4. It says, let me start at 3. Isaiah 13 and 3. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations.
See, the kingdom of nations. You got modern day kings nowadays. You know, we were just looking at the album, the magazine cover of the XXL. You know, you had a bunch of this new bugged out rapper niggas. They're the future. You know, these niggas are the idols of our people. You know, they're the kings of our people right now, man. All right, they're the prominent figures of our figureheads of our people, man.
Right, because Jake follows their ordinances.
Right.
You know, just as other people follow the ordinances of the people in their societies, their prime ministers and stuff like that. They cling to them because it's a part of their religion. And Jake does that. This rap shit is a part of their religion. You know,
hell yeah.
And within a lot of this this so-called graduating class of hip hop, it's nothing but death and revolt. You know, a lot of them try to throw in that so-called conscious stuff, but a lot of it is just about shooting up and shit like that. It's in that spirit of just fighting back, you know.
Right.
Even if it's against Jake, it's still a spirit of just fighting, you know. And Most High is mustering, Most High is instigating that spirit behind the scene.
And yeah. And so you do have those same spirits back. You have certain people that are back to play their part in their lot to stir up revolt, man. All right, got something out?
Yeah, I got this is Sirach 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Yeah, that's it. The kingdom is translated from one people unto another, man. You know? You want to say something on it?
Yeah, basically, we're starting to see like the crumbling of America right now, you know? And then that power is going to be switched to Israel, man. But before that, you're going to have insurrections of the people, all right? Jake's going to be fighting against Jake, fighting against the other nations, all right? You're going to have so-called secret societies pop up, you know?
Right.
Underground revolutionaries,
right?
Anarchists, all these people that are waiting for the crumbling of America, so they can grab hold of that power, man. And even the other nations, they're gonna think that once America crumbles, then that's the time to come in and try to lay down their power structure. But that's not what's going to happen, man. That's when Yahweh Shai's going to come back and he's going to subdue all these other kings, man, of the earth.
That's right.
You know?
That's That's right. That's why Revelation 17, when you get that out, Revelation 17, it talks about how he had many kings and different crowns on his head, man. You know, because Yahushua is coming back for blood. He's coming back for vengeance, man. That's right. You know, and the same people that stoned them, the same people that not stoned them, Salaki, same people that chastised them, you know, and crucified them, you know, brought them through all kind of hell. Brought them through all kind of hell. Is back nowadays, today, man. And guess what? They're gonna fight up against him again. And guess what? He's gonna smite them. He's gonna put them in subjection. Got that out.
No. Salakia. 17.
Yeah. Let's start it from the top.
Okay.
He's leading again. Right, you gotta tilt it. Yeah, tilt it. Kind of like balancing. Yeah.
It should be straight right there.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, Revelation 17:1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters.
Yeah, that's talking about here. Babylon the Great is also too is Rome. Go ahead.
With whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication.
Right.
So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns.
Right. Going into that's their power structure, man. The 7 heads and 10 horns. That's their power structure. All right. Why? Because it's because a war is brewing. All right. Going into the EU and NATO, man. All right. That's their power structure. A horn represents power. Right, and the horn, when what do you say? When 2 people lock horns, you know why? What does that represent? There's contention. Yeah. You know, and that's what the EU and the NATO is stirring up. All right.
God, it says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stone and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was the name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth.
Right, the abominations of the earth. Salakia. Is this? Yep. No.
19 and 2, 19.
Right. Con. Yeah. Baba Shah start at 11.
Revelation 19 and 11. It says, and I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doeth judge and make war.
Yeah, that's what the brother was alluding to. You know, that when Yahushua comes back, that's what Yahushua is going to do. He's going to make war. Why? Because there's already going to be war on earth. You know?
Since his eyes were as a flame of fire, and his head, and on his head were many crowns. He had a name written that no man knew but he himself.
Right, and that's what Yahushua is coming back to do, to subjugate all the rest of the nations, man. You know? That's what it all boils down to, man. But it's through the Spirit, it's going to start, you know, I get it. Is it Luke 12 and 49?
Oh, it's got to be kindled. Yeah.
I got it right here.
It's warming up.
Yep, Luke chapter 12. Right.
Started 48, I think, the vision. That's 49.
No. Luke chapter 12, verse 49. I am come to send fire on the earth, and what will I, if it already be kindled? Right, like the brother said, if it will already be kindled. Because when you kindle the fire, you got to tend to the fire to kindle it. You know, you got to stay on the fire. So, you know, banners. What was that? Jeremiah 51? 51 to 7, I believe. You know, you got fanners, man. You know, what are the fanners? The fanners are these other nations already setting off war, man. You know, it also too goes into the prophets as well. We're helping kindle the fire as well. You know, through the wisdom. All right, because a part of the wisdom and the 144 being sealed, that's going to bring the destruction. That's going to ultimately forward the kingdom of heaven. You know, but the more and more the breath, the more and more the fire, man. You know? And the Esau and the wicked, at least they're doing their thing to help kindle that same fire. You know?
Right, and this is the Lord's doing, you know?
Right.
How about Shemaiah Shai is behind all this? Let me bring this precept real quick, and I'm gonna get the fanners. This Ecclesiasticus 39:28 says, "There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In time of destruction they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made him."
Right there, you cut you, because the scripture says what? That the Most High is a flaming fire, man.
Yeah.
That's why, man. You know. Can you read that again, Baba Bashar? That was bad. That was on point. That was on time, man.
Sirach 30 or Ecclesiasticus chapter 39 verse 28. "There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes."
Right, yeah. Now you got the politicians, these are different governments, you know, these different leaders, you know. And what they're doing, they're preparing, they're setting forth sore strokes through their legislation, you know, through the war, you know, the nuclear arms race, you know. They're ready to set forth sore strokes because these are the same people coming back in their stead, man. You know.
Right, and they're fighting for their power. All right, they're fighting for their power on earth. But little do they know, you know, to appease, you know, their country, and because nations go to war to make money, you know, and restore power to their nation.
Right.
But little do they know, they're sending appeasement to Yahweh Shemaiah Shai, because all these nations, they're gonna stop fighting like we was going into. They're gonna try and fight Yahweh Shai. They're gonna try and revolt against the Lord, you know.
That's right.
But it's gonna be in a losing effort.
Con. You got something now?
Yeah, I got a precept because you was talking about the breath of the prophets that's going to help further bring down this place. All right, so this is Matthew 24 and 14. "And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations."
Right, and that's the wind. That's the breath. Go ahead.
"And then shall the end come."
Good. Yeah, you gonna say something?
Yeah, and that's the same thing what you were just saying, man. We're helping further the prophets of the Lord, the men that are out there on the highways and the byways, you know, bringing out the prophecies. They're helping bring down America, man.
Exactly.
Those prophecies have to be pushed out, man, and that vibration has to be out there. That's the spirit of the Lord, man.
Yeah.
Telling the other nations, like, look, we don't. You can do whatever you got to do, but the Lord's gonna come back. He's gonna subdue you, man. And these nations are scared. They actually are watching. They're watching the prophets of the Lord, from the elders, the apostles on down, man. But the Lord still is hardening their heart to still go to war, man. Because like the scriptures say, they were basically scared but durst fight.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
So these other nations, they're preparing for war right now, man. And there's wars, rumors of wars. Are you gonna have insurrections in America? Are you gonna have nations against nations? Okay. You're gonna have class wars, race wars. Okay, you're gonna have all type of calamity here in America, man. And then at the same time, the Lord's gonna be pushing out these prophecies. All right, and the prophets still gonna be prophesying, and that's how America's gonna go down, man.
Yeah. Let me get my phone. Oh, he got my phone. You know, can you look up, brother? Look up the consuming fire.
Hebrew.
That's what it is.
What you mean? Like,
the Most High is a consuming fire.
Oh, that's Deuteronomy 6:24, I believe. That's one place.
I thought it was another one. I should be like the one I'm thinking about. I think it's in 1 John.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have a precept to it.
No, it's a Salakia, minister on a flame of fire. You put the word minister on fire and it should come up.
Yeah, because that's what the Lord, that's the spirit of the Lord is on right now.
Yep.
And it's about to come forth all the way very soon.
Yeah. To come to fruition. The words of the Lord is about to be made manifest. Try 1 John out. Past it. I use the same app.
It was 4 and 24.
Okay, God.
I'll just read this one real quick. Deuteronomy 4:24. "For the Lord thy power is a consuming fire, even a jealous power."
See, well, yeah, that's it right there. That's it. You know, ultimately, that's the point. The Lord our power is a consuming fire, man. You know, so ultimately everything that we do and everything that we say is for His glory. You know, and then that's why only by what? By fire is gonna
it's gonna purge.
Yeah. Well, no, that's something different. That's minister. Well, we could read that too. That
Yeah, this is Hebrews 1:7. And of the angels he saith, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire.
Salak, you read verse 6?
This is Hebrews 1:6. And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into...
That's talking about Yahweh Shai. Because that's what Yahweh Shai is about. He's about to... Go ahead.
Yeah. And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the world, he saith, and let all the angels of the Most High worship him.
Right, because they're going to fall in order. Go ahead.
And of the angels he saith, who maketh his angels spirits and his ministers a flame of fire.
So yeah, so we're adding to the fire as well. Because we come from that fire, you know? We come from the Most High, man, ultimately. You know, because the angels, the ministers and the angels, who's that? That's the prophets, ultimately. Of course, it's talking about the angels, you know, Raphael, Uriel, Michael, you know, of course, they're going to come back with Yahweh Shai as well. But also, too, the prophets. The prophets are angels as well. Malachi in the Hebrew, you know, that was Malachi's name ultimately. You know, he was known as a messenger. His name was Angel. And what did he? And the key thing is, what did he prophesy? He prophesied that John would, because Malachi prophesied the restoration of things. You know, that was through John the Baptist, the restoration, because he was the one that set it up before Yahweh Shai was to come. That happened already again. All right, so you people, y'all can say all y'all want, you know, because everybody wants to attack One West, and the thing about One West, that's where John the Revelator came back. That's where Elijah the prophet came back to restore all things. Things are already happening. It's moving already. It's happening already. Y'all outside the circle. They're outside the school, man. They're outside the temple, man. They're profane. You know. Talking about these other camps, man, especially the people that come up against One West and really left the doctrine.
You got a precept just going back on that spirit of revolt, you know. This is John 18:36. It says, Yahweh Shai answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews. But now is my kingdom not from hence.
Right. This is because it's not the Most High. This is not Yahweh Shem Shai's kingdom. You know, this is not his kingdom. This is not. You know, this is not for his servants to fight. You know, this is not. We're not going to fight here physically, man.
Right.
You know, we got to wait for Yahweh Shai to fight, man. You know. And we're also too, hey man, that spiritual power coming too, because that's going to reveal the servants, man. That's how people are going to wake up at a high rate, man. It's already happening. We already see it happening. It's already happening around us. You know, you all just can't see it. The outside world can't see it. That's why you bug out when brothers talk about what they talk about.
Right.
You know, we see it already. You know.
Yeah. I got another one. It's Romans 10:2. It says, for I bear them record that they have a zeal of the Most High, but not according to knowledge. See, a lot. The zeal comes, you know, is the root word of what? A zealot.
Right.
You know, we have a spiritual zeal, but we have it with understanding.
Exactly.
You know, we're not out here taking up arms like ISUPK, trying to establish communities and sovereignty for defense. You know, Yahweh Shem Shai is our refuge. He's our defense. You know, our revolting is going to be spiritually with our words. We can only revolt with words right now.
Right.
Without spiritual power, Yahweh Shem Shai backed, there is no fight.
Right.
You know, there is no fight.
Right.
But you're going to have 2/3, man. They're going to fight, man. They're gonna get it in.
Yeah.
You know, and they're ready. Like, you know, they got operatives. Brothers were talking about how, you know, these 2/3, they get involved with the government, certain agencies and stuff. They learn techniques and they teach it to other jakes. They ready, you know.
Yeah.
There's subgroups just like the Black Panthers that nobody knows about.
Right.
You know?
The movie, the best reference to me is the spook who sat by the door. And then you realize at the end of that movie, if you've seen the movie before, the end of that movie, they weren't able to be stopped.
Right.
You know, they gave Esau a run for their money, man. You know. So and that's going to happen again, you know, or the basic scriptures. Second, I got it. Second Ezra chapter 6. Second Ezra chapter 6 verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall there be the end of the first and the beginning of it that follows? The parting and asunder, you know, asunder means to cut, you know, to split. When is it going to change? You know, the spirit of revolt. Yeah, you know, we might name this video that, the spirit of revolt. You know, because revolt, that's a revolution. Mathematically, that's a 360. You know, a complete change. You know, because the things that were established from the beginning are going to be made manifest at the end. That's why Jacob and Esau. That's why I went to the scripture, Jacob and Esau, the parting and the asunder, because the same thing that happened in the beginning with Jacob and Esau in the womb, they were fighting. Now the end, what's going to happen? Jacob and Esau is going to fight again. It's going to be carnally and it's going to be spiritually. Yeah. This is the last hurrah. This is shebang right here, man.
Yes, sir.
You know, this is Esau's blessing, man. You know, I'm gonna continue. It says, verse 8. And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, because he was whooping his ass. All right? For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Right? Why? Because at the end, what does the scripture say? All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. But basically, what did it say? Amos 9 and 8. It said, let me just get it.
Yeah, Lord, the eyes of the Lord.
Yeah.
Upon the sinful kingdom.
Yeah. Because the house of David is being raised back up. You know?
Yeah.
This is Salakia.
Esau thinks he's gonna win, man.
Yeah.
Esau really, you know, that's why the Lord said he has taken the wise in their, you know, in their own craftiness and their own counsel, man. Esau, you got to give it to Esau. He's smart, you know. The scripture says he's wiser than Daniel, but the thing where he doesn't understand that he's in a trick bag, man. You know, and that's gonna be the most beautiful part, you know, laughing while we slicing Esau in the spirit. Like we do it spiritually already on the highways and byways. You know, get that adrenaline, get in that war spirit, because that's really the battlefield. You know, that's the only way we can battle right now.
Right. Because Amos 9 and 8, behold, the eyes of the Lord power upon the sinful kingdom, and I will destroy from off the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, save Yahweh. See, even though the eyes of the Lord God upon the sinful kingdom, you know, and that sinful kingdom will be destroyed, say he won't utterly destroy the house of Jacob. What is that talking about? That's talking about the remnant. That's talking about the elect, man, the prophets, starting with the prophets, and, you know, and the believers. Because Matthew 10 and 40, it says, he that believeth you shall, he that believeth you, believeth for me. And then he went on to say, he that receive a prophet in the name of a prophet shall receive a prophet reward. And he said, he that receiveth a righteous man in the name of a righteous man shall receive a righteous man's reward. Because you got the prophet and the righteous man. You know, the prophets that's the elect, that's the 144,000. The righteous man that's talking about is the helps.